Okay, so here I'm designing the body. I admit it's not anything amazing. I wanted the lens to be on the right side. Kind of a neat design. And then the main dimensions are like spacing for the boards. This will be in there. It'll be underneath. Cut a line across here for the two halves. The battery pack is in the front here. I should group these together. Yeah, so the body will have a wall thickness too, so that's something to keep in mind, but yeah. 3D, man. So something like that. Then I gave it a lot of floor space because this guy here will be underneath. But not only that, it'll be over here because the IMU, which I don't have a model for right here, I have one somewhere from other projects, or I can make one. It'll be mounted on the floor. Ideally it would be like in line with the camera, but there's no real need to, like it's parallel, you know. So it'll just be mounted to the ground, flat with the body. And then the D-pad and the back button will be here, and then somewhere over here will be the shutter, which is a nasty design, but I'll probably put it near the front so it's like somewhere that you know where it is without looking. And yeah, I mean, it's a pretty simple project, but you know, it's still cool to like design and make something yourself, especially like hardware. So yeah, I still have to wire everything together, but I'm trying to make sure I have room, and then I'll verify the components. Like the shutter with its own board, it needs like 2 screws at least to screw it upwards into the case to make sure when you push down on it, it doesn't pop out. And then similarly, like all these will need screw holes to go into. I just use generic screws, and it's into plastic. I'm not using like a press fit Allen wrench or something. Yeah, so I'll just keep going. And I did try to round out the edges, like this is still sharp. You can use some like follow me and do all the, but yeah, this'll work. And I think your hand will wrap around this part more than the back, so the back is just flush. Maybe I should round this part at least. And then your finger, like pointer finger, will be here and thumb will be at the bottom. I think that's how you would hold this thing. And I'll just cut like vent holes so it has a way to get rid of heat. Although the holes for the ports will provide some ventilation too. It's not like it'll get really hot, but you know, it does produce heat. Alright, so I've got everything soldered at this point. I'm just doing some designing. Previously I showed how this ring would be it would have like notches in there. God, every time I record, man, my throat. I just drank some coffee. Alright, throat has been cleared. Yeah, so this ring is just clearing this notch here that's in the HQ camera. It's 0.1 inch wide, no real reason, just enough room. And then there will be the rotating rings that are attached to each lens. Unfortunately, each lens is different, so they'll have to be designed custom. And then they will sit against that and rub against it, so it's harder to spin. And then the those screw things will be taken out, the threaded ones that are in the lens, and then it'll just use compression by the ring clamp with a screw, just like how this thing works here. But yeah, I'm not liking this design, man. Like, the reason I'm cutting it down is the electronics fit inside of 2-inch height, so the rest is just extra material. But you know, it could be cool where like the emphasis on the large lens, it's like the NEX 5N, where it's like, it has like this giant lens and then a tiny body. But yeah, this cut though I think is like too much. I have to go up a little, or I don't know. I just don't want to like commit to a design and hate it. I could always reprint it, but like it's such a pain to like get everything in there, screw it down, attach it, you know. And honestly, I probably won't use this camera that much. Maybe I will, because I had to sell like every camera I own. I don't even have a lens for my A7 II right now. I had the kit, but it's like I always end up returning that. I've bought it twice before. Anyway, yeah, I guess you could like round it. That could be something. Match the concentricity of this. Concentricity. There you go. But then it makes it a little harder to print, but you'll probably, yeah, if you cut it down, you'll print it like face down with the plate, which means it'll have to print supports for under here. That'll be ugly. The surface won't look good, but it's black, so it'll just blend in. Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now, and then I gotta put everything in. It's all like based on alignment pretty much. Like the left edge here, the electronics will go in there. I'll have to cut out ports so that all these things are still accessible. And then D-pad and all that, cut holes, screw points for the OLED, vent holes, screws for the camera board, cut it in half, design like a upper, lower, inner, outer sliding thing with those channels that have the screw hole in it, so that's how it screws together. And then yeah, I'll have a camera, and I can do programming after that. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll finish printing this today. It'll probably be sometime tomorrow. But I don't have to reprint anything, redesign. Alright, so that's what we've got so far. Kind of like this X-ray looking view, but see, there's a lot of space in here. It's kind of unfortunate, but there's also a lot of wiring. Like, this whole thing is a rat's nest of wires. But this is the layout. I still have to like cut things out, cut around that, cut around those ports. I don't know, I'll probably bring that down. That's the original, but I'll just verify like how much clearance you need to be able to plug stuff into it. Same with this guy. But yeah, because the shell is 0.1 inch thick, and I still have to like find somewhere to cut it in half. What's hard is the screws, like screws on here. Everything's soldered together. That's what's hard. So I'll have to like pry this thing in half, like that way, or rotate the parts and then get into the screw holes. And then where there's no screws, I'll just use glue, which is nasty, but this is not like an easy project to reproduce. It's expensive too and kind of pointless, so I'm just like committed now, like I'm gonna see it through. And then the rest is like a programming challenge. Make the SPI faster, the OLED, integrate the IMU and all that. There's the IMU down there. It's centrally aligned to the lens. So you got a horizon sensor. DC-DC, there's your micro USB charger. It's kind of like, why is it there? But I didn't have anywhere else to put it. I don't know. And then the switch, I don't know if I like this spot, but I guess it makes sense down there. Yeah. So I'm gonna keep going, and then I still have to design the lens clamps. This thing is nasty. I like to put a pattern in there because I don't know if it'll lock and then I can't get the focus just right. So maybe I'll just leave it as is and use compression to make it tight. At least you should have feedback with the OLED if the image is in focus. That was the whole point of having this tiny display versus a easy, like, giant HDMI out. So yeah, just keep going. These are just alignment guides. So this nasty looking bevel here is because these screws have to go in 0.2 inches, like beyond this. It's like 0.3 inches tall. So I could have 0.2, you know, material for it to screw into. That's why it's like, ugh. And I was trying to keep the OLED flush with the main face, but this isn't all that bad because when you're outside, like the sun, you know, this will block it, although it really won't do much because the OLEDs are just too dim outside. They're cheap, but you know, what are you gonna do? So yeah, I guess it adds some character to it, more faces or more details. And I'll probably, man, yeah. One side is gonna need supports. It sucks. And the other side you can print like from the, which that's Sketch too. You'll need supports there as well if you printed from this side up. So I'll have to print from this side. So this will need support. That'll need support. Oh man. Oh well. Okay, so I'm at the point where I'm doing the split it in half somewhere. I picked here because the back of the Raspberry Pi plate, the screws will go in that way, so I can't see my hands, but imagine me pulling this thing apart like that. Then the OLED is free over here. I can screw into it. That one's not bad. The D-pad is coupled with the Pi Zero a lot, so that is a problem. I'll probably screw the D-pad in first along with the OLED and screw this down, and then position the, well, the other half will be there. I'll screw the camera into it, screw the Pi into it, and then screw this stuff, glue, whatever, and then it'll be sealed. And then in here, which I haven't designed yet, will be upper and lower layers that slide into each other. And then there will be overlapping holes where screws will go into to close it or to keep it together. I did have to extend this even farther, mostly because of the depth of the screws. And then I also just pulled this way out so it's like aligned with the base of the camera. And then lenses will just get their custom grippy thing designed against there. So in the end, you'd probably have something that looks like that, with, you know, cuts for the rotating bits. It definitely looks camera-ish. Yeah, and I'll just use like looks like a wheel, like a rim cutaway section, so it's not so much plastic. Screw to clamp them down, and then you'll have rotatable barrel, which I will put a grip on the outside. I'm just lazy because like there's probably a built-in way to do that. I'll probably just do like huge grips, like small divots, like maybe 10 of them or something, versus entirely grooved. Oh yeah, I just gotta keep going. Psycho! Alright, yeah, that was a sewed song. System of a Down. So, you cut it in half. I just took all the components out. And then you gotta clean it up. Make sure it's all solid, 0.1 inch thick everywhere. Drill out all the holes and cut out all the stuff that I marked. And then put the parts back in and make sure it looks right. Then you gotta export it as a solid, make sure it's printable. Before I get that far, I have to verify these like dimensions will work, so I'll do prints of like this plate here, so I gotta make sure these are very exact. Like if the dimensions are off, I'm gonna have to modify that and fit it. The rest should be fine. This one I just gotta make sure the camera will go through it. I added plenty of room as it comes in from the back. So yeah, just more work. Problem with the ports is they're not flush with the surface. Well, they should be, but not all of them are. Let's see. Yeah, like here. Which I don't know why I did that. Like, why aren't they flush? The issue is the clearance of the cable, so I added these giant like cutouts to make sure they'll fit still. Yeah. Okay. I just want to show the issue that I deal with SketchUp. So I have like an i9 desktop, right? I don't have a graphics card though. That is one thing. I feel like SketchUp had a problem with multi-core processors. Granted, I'm using the free one and it's old, but isn't it amazing this thing is written in Ruby? I'm trying to imagine that. I mean, it's just a language, but yeah, to make a 3D thing. Anyway, closest I can get to is like 3JS, but yeah, this thing starts to lag. Like, I'll do some action and it takes 3-5 seconds before it responds. Right now I'm just panning and it's alright, but you know, there's so many problems. Like, this is a simple shape, but it's like for some reason the skin is wrong. You know, like, and I have to re-extrude it because all the lines got screwed up. And there's like, sometimes I do unhide all. Yeah, see, there's like random shit. Sorry, I'm swearing. Polygons. And that just F's it up like when you go to print it. I know the solution. Learn a real CAD program. Not this parametric crap. Yes, right now I gotta put the holes there. I did verify that this is aligned with the original After this hole, I'll put the two halves together and make sure it looks like this still. Put the parts into it, make sure they all fit. And then, oh, this is the IMU stand. 2 screws hold it down. Back of the thing, I still have to verify this works. There's no holes. Why? What? Where did the surface go? Oh my god. Okay, so I'm gonna have to extrude those outwards. Is this deep enough? Let's see, 0. Crap. It is not. Okay, that's great. Look, see, I'm zooming out, it's stuck. Panning. Stuck. This is the wall, so I'll extrude it out 0.2. Look, come on, controls, respond. And then I'll can't snap to it. Come on. Snap, snap. Snap, what are you doing? Gotta look at it just right. Oh my god. Please, please. It's like the closer I get to the end, the slower it becomes, because there's like more parts, and then SketchUp just grinds to a halt. Like, can't say some exception, great. So I'll have to drill those holes out. Yeah, I'm getting there. I still have to design the lens grabber things. With this, I can start firing up the 3D printer and get going. I haven't printed something in a while. This is pretty cool. I copied that and cut the skin off. So here's all the parts in 3D space as they would be inside the body. That's your battery, DC-DC boost converter, battery charger, 10-axis IMU. I upgraded that. Why not, man? There's the OLED. Actually, I can take that out. Pi Zero. This is the proto board that has everything wired to it. So I've got the 2 case halves. Should be able to just wrap it around here. Let's see, how do I do this? I cut it against the edge of the pie. Where'd it go? Something like that. Oh crap. And then you gotta go outwards till this is lined up with that. Where's the SD card? Is it really perfectly cut like that? Let's see. There's the lag I was talking about. Alright, go. Come on. Oh. Oh, that looks good. Camera is aligned with space to go through. I think that's center. Let's see, the holes line up. Yep. This is such a cool view, the X-ray. Dang. Looks good. Like the blend of colors. Alright, let's see. Yeah. Charging port there. Button, shutter. D-pad switch, yeah. Oh! There's a freaking hole! Oh, okay, I gotta fix that. But it's looking good. It is looking good. Let's go that way, that way. Ooh, that's gonna be a good shot right there. Alright. It's 9 o'clock, so I can't really print. This sucks. I gotta wait till tomorrow. I'll design the lens stuff, and then I'll start messing around with software, I guess, in the meantime. So here you can see this piece takes 8 hours to print. So you have to like make sure it's correct. That's, you know, half a day right there. Dang. Could save time, we didn't have the support here, but looks good though. Took me so long to clean this thing up. There's so many problems. It does have a thickness, right? Let's see. There, that's floor. Good. Yeah. Okay, so I've got the things modeled now. What I'm trying to do is figure out where to put the screws. Initially, I was going to have like this side is shorter, you know, a little bit, and then this side is shorter from the other way, and then they go together. I could. There's so much work, man. So what I'm thinking instead is I've got a what do you describe it? Like a black skinny rectangle thing underneath attached to this piece. This side has like a female, just like channel guides kind of thing, and then a hole for the screw. So there would be one here, one on this, one here, and then 2 in the bottom. One. So 5 total. I feel like that'd be pretty good. What's not great is that's not a very good seal. Like it's flat edge to edge. But I think the screws, like pulling them together, will be enough. I don't think anybody's gonna rebuild this, so I don't know. The OLED thing is just bad. But yeah, I really wish I could print, but it's 11 at night now, and the printer is loud. So yeah, I'll design those things, and then I'll work on software for now. I'm gonna try and see about tomorrow being the day I stay up, because then I can just print and watch TV. Alright, it wasn't that bad. To add like a lip so when they join, see. I think, yeah, this tolerance though, I don't know. I put 0.01 inch, that's like pretty tight, but still manageable. So those will go together, and then there are still going to be screws that actually do the holding. This will just be nice, where it's like, it feels more solid than just flat surfaces touching each other. So, yeah. Alright, so I'm just verifying that the holes are matching. These are the screw holes. Countersunk. Hole. I also bumped this up right here because it doesn't have to be like just a thin piece here, because there's a hole. So yeah. And so when you pull it apart, 3 clicks. Looks like that. See how the thing will slide over this, good fit, and screw goes into that. And that will be snug. But I still have to verify all the outer dimensions match. Deep head can slot right in there. But those I can just do like small section prints. Verify that the distances are right. Screws will work, and then I'll do the final prints. This is an 8-hour print, that one's 5 hours. Yeah, it looks like a camera. Oh yeah, and I didn't put a texture on here. I just figured the lens itself can have the texture because it'll be dynamic or easier to modify than this entire body. This is so cool. Like, you know, here it is. And then this thing will be made out of plastic. These things are really chunky. But the issue is the screws are so deep. They're 0.3 and this is 0.1. I don't know. This is conservative. It could be even longer than this. I cut it at 0.15. And it'll be good, I guess. And visually you think, oh, that could be thinner. But the scale of this stuff, like, it's too small. So yeah, I just know working with these screws how deep they have to be. These are the barrel rings. Well, this is one. I'm just laughing at myself what I'm doing. Like, I'm manually making these. Why? It just looks like a rover wheel or something, which looks bad. It doesn't look like a barrel lens. So I'm going in here and making them into little teeth. I don't know, I'm pretty tired. I could just, you know, I already like rotated them. Start with one. I made 4, rotate them, duplicate, rotate, rotate, rotate. It's like a slow way to do it. Anyway, do this, print it. I gotta design the front one. You can see this is what grips onto the rotating part of the wheel. And the screw goes through. Well, this is a screwdriver hole, but the screw is here and it bites into these two things and pinches the wheel around it. And your hand rotates this.